So, Charlita, here we are starting out our brand new podcast with westview.com. So, welcome to the podcast, Charlita. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine, Anuradha. And how about you?
Yeah, we are also fine, and we are looking at the world, how the things are going on, because
Yeah,
we had hot news these days because we saw the Grammy Awards and also the new president has been taken the
yeah.
office in US. So things are really
Uh,
getting like juicy in these days.
to the and his fiery approach in almost everything.
Yeah, yeah. I think yesterday I saw that someone is asking the president, the Trump, are you going to like, what is your scale? How much areas that you're going to touch with Elon Musk with the Dodge? So he was
Yeah,
telling, except the most sensitive intelligence and defense structure,
yeah,
everything else will be affected.
yeah.
So that's
Everything's
what.
going to be changed.
So that is the situation right now in US. So also we will look around the world as well. So today, Shalita, I have selected the topic. I think you are one of a biggest fan of this topic.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna talk about soft power because
So
most of the cases we talk about the solid power, but today let's talk about soft power.
yeah,
So I'll fire away my first question.
yeah,
What exactly mean by soft power? What is soft power?
yeah. According to that, the political scientist Joseph Nye, he's the one who coined this term soft power.
Okay,
He's
kind
telling
of a
us
new thing,
that
right?
yeah. That Joseph Nye, his name.
Okay,
Mr. Joseph Nye, so he described this as a nation's ability to influence others
okay,
through attraction rather than that we are not going to forcing them. That
okay.
we will be going to we will work with fine and we get along with fine others, and it's about shaping preferences through appeal and rather than through military might and economic sanctions.
Yeah,
So think of it that the hard power is about pushing people around. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
you must do that. You must open Panama Canal. Then Chinese should be out of this, or maybe Chinese people using this the other way around. And
yeah,
soft power is about pulling them towards let's work together. You with our culture, values, policies, and even humanitarian aid. It is. Power to set the agenda in world political
yeah.
by that we are not pushing someone, we just work with it.
Yeah.
That
I
is
have heard one story about, especially as you pull the China into the topic.
yeah,
Once someone said, when always we see, especially the Chinese leader with the first lady, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
someone said it is also kind of a soft power tool because unlike men, when women are involved, it looks more appealing and more friendlier setting, right?
yeah,
So because since the history we know that when men involved, probably we could see some conflict as well, but when
yeah,
women are involved, it's less likely to develop a conflict. So
exactly,
this is what soft power means in the way that we can understand. So
yeah.
let's move into one of the hot topics, hot cake these days. You know that USA,
The
one of
latest
the
one,
yeah,
yeah,
the USA, one of the most headline-making subject throughout especially last week,
yeah,
because this came out last week. So I think it is safe to say that USA also a kind of a soft power tool, even though it is benefiting many people, even though it is being subjected to some controversies.
yeah.
Still, it is a soft power tool. Do you agree, Shalita, here?
Yeah, exactly. The thing is that US, even before the establishment of USA, US used this soft power, especially after Second World War.
Okay.
For the best example is that US initiated the Marshall Plan. They're
Yeah, yeah,
providing over 13 billion.
yeah.
When we convert it to today's situation, it will be about $150 billion to
Okay.
help rebuild West Europe and also Japan. So this wasn't just humanitarian aid; it was like strategic soft power. So we are going to help them to rebuild Europe, and in return, Europe going to work with us to prevent communism spreading all over the world.
Okay.
So that is the start of this U.S. soft power legacy.
Okay.
But however,
So let
that
me
after,
give you an opportunity to
Yeah.
make a bold statement that
Yeah.
I also have a convinced that.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that there is no country on planet Earth that we can call as a developed country who never took help from US?
Absolutely, that it is a bold statement. Some people might get angry
Yeah.
that these people just the hyping US and all, but
Yeah.
the thing is that actually without US support, we cannot even say one country. We can't name one country without US help.
Yeah.
For even Russia.
Yeah.
Russia is one of the biggest. The US delivered so many donors. For example, that best example is Lend-Lease during World War. So every single country on earth, even China,
Soviets also worked closely with US when the wartime.
Yeah.
Afterward, they move into like opposite powers, right? That's
Opposite
how the
powers.
things work.
Even the US worst enemies. Getting this money, and there's
Shall I name few like Iran, in some cases Japan. We can see it now in Vietnam. Also, like Saudi Arabia and some Middle Eastern countries who like mostly oppose players in some people's mind.
Yeah.
But they are, I think, until today they are biggest allies, because I think when we look at the oil and power energy industry, especially in Middle East, US facilitate these people to grow, right?
Yeah. The thing is that US always was, and still they are for them. That is the thing, that when someone getting that, for the best example, when it come to tsunami, US
in Sri Lanka,
itself, in Sri Lanka, they played a huge role in relief efforts. They provided immediate aid like food, medical supplies, and shelters, and later they support rebuilding efforts. So they're doing this not just for Sri Lanka, but also when it comes to if there are some similar issues happening in enemies like Iran, they still willing to do that.
Yeah. True. Wherever the help needs, so they're gonna help, and they're gonna involve. So I really wanted to get that thing into our podcast, because I haven't seen that idea around, but it is a fact.
It is a fact. It is not even an opinion. It is a fact.
It is a fact. So then, okay, let's move into the USA role today, because there are some good and bad things. This is a controversial topic anyway. So what is the role in soft power in USA today?
So that we stop with the Marshall Plan and the U.S. Agency of International Development. That is the USAID, also known as Agency of. And so it is established during 60s by President John F. Kennedy, and as we mentioned earlier, it did lots of things. They played a huge part in as a soft power tool, and also a help provider to the third world. But the thing is that USAID has been involved in various global initiatives, from combating climate change to supporting democracy and human rights, and etc. Recently, there has been a focus on global health initiative, including that response to pandemic like COVID-19 and supporting digital transformation in developing countries. So everything is that on paper, those are everything is good. The thing is, what went wrong is that USAID faced criticism over the years, especially from the Republican Party and also some other left-leaning figures. Everybody started to blame because the inefficiency and bureaucracy and the slow aid delivery and mismanagement. These things are the biggest issues in the latest USAID mechanism. So political motivation sometimes overshadowing development goals, where that aid has been tied to strategic interest rather than humanitarian or development needs. These
Yeah.
are the criticisms to US aid. And
Yeah.
however, that the biggest criticism is that culture imposition,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that they are supporting some kind of drag queen shows in Colombia and like things like that. That President Trump and Elon Musk, they see this as a waste of money.
Yeah, yeah, because as we look at the history, when we compare some traditional colonial powers like Portuguese, Dutch, or Spanish, or like English, right? So those
Yeah,
people had a habit of implanting their cultural values and things in other countries that is involved. But when
yeah,
we look at the US, it is possible to say that they involved in such activities, because most of the time they always like motivate and promote the cultures or things available in the
yeah,
locality, not
yeah.
implanting this. But
Implanting.
the things radically changed after, especially after that changing some views over LGBT communities and
Yeah,
so those stuff. So in that perspective, so people saw it as the way that traditional colonial players had it. But
yeah,
I think still US cannot be classified as that way, because for example, if we look at the Portuguese influenced countries,
yeah,
they have like wiped out everything in that
yeah.
country, and they have implanted their culture and religion and
Establish their
everything.
own one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is no way near US in that role, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That when we see Turkey, the Ottoman Empire, then
Yeah.
Portuguese, and even Russian Empire, they still
Yeah.
trying to do that to Ukraine. But
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it's come to USA and even British Empire, they just work with those cultures.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
difference
Yeah.
between these empires. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's safe
English
to
are
say
also
that.
less in that factor, because they have done some level, but
Yeah,
it is not similar to Dutch or Portuguese or Ottoman or Russians or like
yeah, yeah,
those things,
exactly.
right? So
So
I think
they had
even India
much
also
more
doing the
humane
same in some
approach.
cases.
Yeah,
If you agree, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So that's the thing. I think India, we can have, like, I don't know, this is a controversy thing, but I believe that India has involved with some kind of cultural changes in Sri Lanka, especially
Yeah.
after 1950s. I have heard that from some people, especially what happened in Sri Lanka, like Ceylon Broadcasting Corporation, the national radio, and
Yeah.
some areas. So they have influenced. It is not a bad thing. I'm just telling that they have influenced. Right?
Yeah, they have influence.
So,
That we that the thing is that we cannot blame anyone that culture influence, because it is
Yeah.
like a very natural thing.
yeah. For
This
example,
culture exchange and all.
someone, a famous blogger recently did a blog in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So they are like most of the youth and their infrastructure, the businesses and everything, it is clearly imitating US culture and US style without any
force.
hard force, right? Because
Yeah, the best example is that these comic shows and all.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Even US don't know what's these people doing. That we people eventually imitating Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. These are not forcible things.
yeah.
That we just live with that.
Yeah. So today, actually, I decided to highlight one and major country, especially in soft power, than
Yeah.
talking about US, because it's a big topic that we can talk about later on, especially the US influence all over the world. But today, our topic would be more ties with Korean Peninsula, because there are two powers. One power in North Korea, who is trying to claim to become a global player in the world arena in geopolitics, who is with the hard power, who is trying to develop weapons, and the sanctions and things also apply to them because of their compact view over economic and like every aspect. But instead of that, in the South Korea, they have completely opposite strategy. So first we will try to understand what is North Korea and what is South Korea. Are these two people are same or different? What do you think?
Yeah, the same people
Yeah,
with
same
different
country.
ideologies.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. The thing is that North Korea made bad choices all the time.
yeah.
That is the issue that they choose socialism instead of capitalism. South Korea choose capitalism instead of socialism.
Yeah,
That is the difference. So North Korea went with USSR and China and all that,
yeah,
and South Korea's powers,
yeah,
especially with US and also Europe and Japan.
yeah,
So over time that South Korea had these whole investments, technological developments, educational developments, and everything. So
yeah,
they invested, investors came into their country, they went to other countries, and South Korea slowly but surely became some kind of a economical superpower. They
yeah,
still, I think that they are, about when it's come to nominal GDP, I think they are at 11 or 12.
yeah,
So one of the biggest trillion economy in the world.
yeah, yeah,
But when it comes to North Korea, they just, and the thing is, whoever went with Russia met the same fate. So it is similar that whether it's Cuba or North Korea, both chose socialism and they went with it.
yeah,
And we can see that all these starvations and lack of food, lack of resources, and they still blaming
for that.
Western, yeah, oh, for that. But
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing is that it's on them because they mismanaged everything, and when it's come to socialism, it's eventually led to bureaucratic power.
yeah.
So with that, North Korea is like is far behind when it's come to economic development and sort of things, and
Yeah.
they are very about 3 decades behind when it's come to technology.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. So same people with different ideologies, and it's safe to say different timelines.
Yeah, but when we talk about the power, I think I'll give an idea. You make a comment on that. I believe that in Korean Peninsula, South Korea has achieved more than what expected by North Korea. Expected to achieve by North Korean this kind of extreme measures. Do you agree there?
Yeah, absolutely. That Korean soft power achieved, South Korean soft power achieved more than that when it comes to North Korea, because there's no match. We cannot even compare, because North Korea also has this soft power. They think they have, but the thing is, except for nuclear power and some military might.
I'm trying to get into two things into one scale.
Yeah.
One hand, North Korea's hard power, which is spending millions of dollars while leaving their community, their people into starvation to achieve so-called power.
Yeah.
On the other hand, South Korea is doing the same or far bigger impact by soft power without affecting anyone, without forcing anyone inside or outside. Do we agree there?
Yeah, 100%. Because the thing is that the hard power, the different is that we have nuclear weapons. That let's imagine that Russia has, US, everybody.
Even Pakistan.
That 10, I think about 10 countries. 10 countries have but the thing is they cannot use it.
Yeah.
It is part of hard power, but we cannot use it.
Yeah.
It is like then it is like self-destructive decision. So the North Korea has all that, but South Korea has actually something that they can use all the time.
Yeah, that is soft power.
With the soft power. That is soft power.
Yeah.
So and that in that case it is absolutely effective. That they have that culture exports, technology and innovations, educations, diplomacy and aid, everything. The best part is culture export. That they have that this K-pop thing and Korean dramas, cinemas and fashion, which have captivated global audience from United States of America to India, from India to Russia, from Russia to across Europe. Even in Africa, that the BTS has, like we literally said, BTS army. Without weapon, it is the biggest army on earth. That they have millions fans. So the people can say that it is a very childish thing. It is very fancy thing. But the thing is that it has this issue. It has this effect on society.
There is a power lie on that. also wealth. So we
Yeah, yeah,
cannot
and also,
decline it. We
yeah,
cannot
yeah,
deny it, right?
we cannot deny it.
Yeah,
Whether we like it or not,
yeah,
BTS has this ability to generate the wealth.
yeah,
That at the end of the day, that is that's what we all need. So the wealth generating,
yeah,
and so the K-pop, that not just the BTS, that but also that, for example, Blackpink, and that the dramas, for when it comes to the Sri Lankans are very familiar with the Changumi and all
yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
Korean historical dramas,
Historical
and
dramas. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, historical dramas, and also the global audience is like these Kid Games, one of the best TV series ever released from Netflix. So it has huge impact,
also,
huge
I think the
phenomenon.
food industry, Korean food is
Yeah,
also really famous in all around the world. It is slowly gain the popularity as much as Chinese food and Indian foods,
yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly. Even without those all those huge population, that when we talk
Yeah, yeah,
about
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
China, it is about billion, 1 billion, 1.4 billion.
One
Same
point,
with
yeah.
India, and they have this massive, that diaspora.
Diaspora, yeah.
But without any of it, South Korea has this similar impact in food culture, global food culture. They're contributing so much, and there are lots of Korean restaurants as much as Chinese restaurants.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I believe it is possible to as a Westview team, we can compare those numbers. For example, a country like Vietnam or someone like who is hardly working with biggest investments and the
Yeah,
labor force. We can compare the amount that they have gained from those industries, the physical
yeah,
industries, and with the soft power industries like music, teledramas, and that food industry and those stuff. I believe those numbers are very close when we compare with the South Korea and another country like Vietnam or something. So we will
yeah,
do that series
yeah,
with numbers and facts. Then
thanks. Yeah, yeah,
it will be more clear what we are talking here.
yeah,
So then today I think we have one thing left to discuss.
yeah,
That is, for example, I know that there are many countries who like to mobilize soft power in the
yeah.
world geopolitics arena. But do you think South Korea would have a future like US or other bigger player, especially when it comes to the soft power, like let's say India or the US, Russia? Do you
Yeah.
think South Korea would be like slowly become one of the top soft power players in the world?
Yeah, yeah, sure. That they has this ability, that
Yeah,
not just of power, that where that South Korea is also like military might. I think it
yeah,
is like world sixth or fifth biggest, strongest military on earth, and
yeah,
one of the biggest economy and all. And
yeah,
with the combined with the cultural impact with that the soft power, they
yeah,
have this ability.
yeah, yeah,
Even that the thing is that in Europe and in US, that South Korean culture has more acceptance compared to the Indian, Chinese, and other Eastern
yeah,
cultures.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that is
They
the thing
welcome
that.
it like open hands, especially the
Yeah,
South
yeah,
Koreans,
yeah.
right?
They
Yeah, yeah,
welcome it. That the best example is that Emma Myers, the girl who played the role in Wednesday.
yeah,
That she's this huge fan in this South Korean K-pop panel.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there are that Hollywood artists that they love BTS, Blackpink, everything.
yeah, yeah,
That,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we don't see that the people that who love so much love with the Indian culture and all. That there are people, but the
yeah,
thing
but
is, South Korea has that welcome from the
yeah, 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 yeah.
Western society.
Much recognized one than when you compare to Chinese and Indian because of their like kind of tension in many aspects, even
Many
though they are
aspects.
allies, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think today we can wrap up the Westview podcast, our first episode, Shalida. So I'm
Yeah.
expecting to have the next episode next week. We'll invite our listeners to join our